and he started yelling at me and pointing to a parking space, so I parked the car and went inside, and I told them that Bradley was there to pick up his prescription.
What was his prescription?
Ibuprofen.
Did the defendant say anything about the ibuprofen?
No.
Did he say anything to you about how he felt?
He said he was in a lot of pain.
Where did you go then?
Back to the house,
What did you do there?
watch TV.
Do you know what time you got back to the house?
No.
You watched TV.
Yeah.
Did you see anybody that day?
No.
What happened next?
We went to bed.
Do you know what time you went to bed?
Around 9, 10 o'clock at night.
And who's we going to bed?
Me, Brad, and Kinsley.
Judge, I'm sorry, I'm not hearing
Anybody
anybody.
that?
Well, everybody needs to speak up,
All right.
but I think her response was me, Brad, and Kinsley.
I didn't hear your question, I'm sorry.
Who is we?
Me, Brad, and Kinsley.
Kinsley wake up that night.
Yes.
What happened?
Brad went over and picked her up and held her above his head and started shaking her and asked her why she was being such a crybaby bitch.
What happened then?
She stopped crying.
Did you say anything to him?
That he didn't need to be so hard on her. She was just a baby.
And did he say anything to you?
That's how his dad disciplined him, and he turned out just fine.
Did you try to interfere or stop this from happening?
No.
Did that happen? Did she wake up any more that night?
One more time.
And what happened then?
The same thing. He would pick her up and hold her above his head and shake her.
Prior to going to bed that night, did she have any other injuries than the ones you've already described to me?
No.
Tuesday morning, December 1st. Do you recall that day?
Yes.
What time did you get up?
I have no idea.
What did you do that day?
I'm sorry, Judge, I did not hear the time.
She said, I have no idea.
Thank you.
Need you speak up just a little bit more, okay?
Okay.
What did you do that day?
We went to my grandma's.
What time did you go to your grandma?
About 6, 7 o'clock.
What did you do prior to going to your grandma? Did you stay at the house all day? Did you go somewhere?
No, we stayed at the house all day.
At any point that day, was there a time where the defendant would have been alone with Kinsley?
Yes.
When?
Whenever I went to the dollar store to get him some stuff that he could eat.
This is Tuesday?
Yes.
Tell us about getting ready to go to grandma's house.
We get ready to go to my grandma's house. I had went to the laundromat.
When did you go to the laundromat?
Went to the laundromat early in the day, about afternoon.
Tell us
And
about that, the laundromat.
I went to the laundromat. It was right around the corner from the house. So I put all of the clothes in the washer, and I come back to the house and timed it, and then went back to the laundromat and took them out of the washer and put them in the dryer, and went back to the house and timed it, and then went back and folded the clothes and came back to the house.
Why didn't you take Kinsley with you?
Because Brad said she could stay with him.
Was that normal?
Yes.
So in relation to the laundromat, when did you go to the dollar store?
I went to the dollar store. I'm sorry, that was Monday night. I went to the dollar store.
So Monday night you went to the dollar store.
Yes.
Monday would have been November 30th.
Yes, ma'am.
When you went to the dollar store, did Kinsley go with you?
No.
What did you get at the dollar store?
I got soup and crackers and juice.
When you came home, did you see any injuries in addition to the ones you've already seen on Kinsley?
Monday?
Monday night?
No.
So now we're back to the laundromat.
Yes.
Isn't there a washer and dryer at Chuck's house?
Yes.
Why are you going to the laundromat?
Because either the washer or the dryer didn't work.
Right? Did you have a discussion about going to the laundromat and leaving Kinsley with Brad?
No.
Just left him, or just left Kinsley with the defendant?
No, he just said that she could stay there while I went to the laundromat.
Right? You said you left and you went and you put things in the wash?
Yes.
Do you know how long that would have taken?
Took me about 10, 15 minutes.
Did you go then back to the house?
Yes.
What did you do then? And first of all, what did you see when you came back to the house after putting everything in the wash?
Kinsley was playing
How long were you there at the house?
about 35, 40 minutes.
Where did you go then?
Back to the laundromat.
How long were you there?
About 10, 15 minutes.
When you came home, did you see anything?
No.
What was happening?
Kinsley was playing
How long were you home?
30 to 35 minutes.
Then where did you go?
Back to the laundromat.
And what did you do there?
Took the clothes out of the dryer and folded them.
And how long were you gone?
About 25, 30 minutes.
And when you came back, what did you see?
When I came back, Kinsley's hair was wet and she was crying
Where was Kinsley?
in the bedroom,
Where in the bedroom?
right beside Brad's bed.
And she was crying, you said?
Yes,
Did you ask what happened?
yes.
And what were you told?
He said that he was giving her a bath and went to go rinse her hair, and she freaked out and jerked forward and her head hit the faucet.
Was there any mark on her?
Yes,
Where?
on her forehead right here.
Can you describe where on your head you're pointing?
The right side, right above my eyebrow.
What did you do then?
Got ready to go to my grandma's.
When you got home, was Kinsley dressed?
Yes.
Tell me about getting ready to go to Grandma's. Was Kinsley fully dressed, shoes on, everything?
No, she had her clothes on, but still had to put her shoes on.
So what happened then?
Brad was sitting on the couch and put Kinsley in his lap to put her shoes on.
Did anything happen then?
Yeah. She leaned back and he hit her in the back of the head.
If you could explain to us what you mean by she leaned back.
She leaned back like this,
Far back, a little bit back?
a little bit back.
And what did he do then?
Hit her in the back of the head
How?
with this part of his hand.
Okay, you could hold that up there again. that part of his hand, would you point to that? So with the fist, you're talking about the thumb area?
Yeah.
How many times did you see him do that?
About 2 or 3 times.
And when he did that, what would Kinsley's body do?
Jerk forward.
What about her head?
It would come forward real hard.
What your grandma said?
Yeah.
Did you have a discussion about him, first of all, when that happened, did you say anything to him?
Yeah.
What did you say?
I tried to intervene, and I started to walk toward Kinsley. And he looked at Kinsley and he said, "Tell Mom if she comes over here and saves you or tries to get in the middle of it, she's going to get it twice as bad."
So did you do anything?
No.
What did you do next?
We had it wasn't a discussion, but he said that if anybody asked where the bump on the back of her head came from or anything, it's because she fell backwards out of the chair.
Did you see her fall backwards out of the chair?
No.
Did he tell you about a time where she fell out backwards out of the chair?
No.
Go to your grandma's house. Describe what happens at your grandma's house.
My daughter was playing with her toys, and we wasn't there very long. And she played with her toys. She played with my grandma, my sister.
Describe what you mean by playing with your grandma.
She'd get her doll out, and she'd want my grandma to hold the doll so she could change its diaper.
Was Kinsley walking around,
Yes.
running into things?
No.
Did she have any trouble picking up her doll?
No.
You said she was playing with her sister.
Yeah.
What's your sister's name?
Tiffany.
What did you see her playing with your sister?
Legos.
Was she picking up the Legos?
Yes.
Was she having any trouble doing that?
No.
How long were you there?
About an hour.
Where did you go after that?
His dad's house.
Did you have a discussion with your family while you were there about Kinsley?
Yes.
What was that discussion about?
My grandma said she was acting.
Sustained. Wait for the next question.
Did you tell your family anything about Kinsley?
Just what you said.
She asked if
Objection.
Sustained.
What did you say to your grandma? Only what you said. So just skip the part about what she asked and say only what you said.
I told her that Kinsley had fell backwards out of the chair and hit her head.
Did you tell her anything else?
About the car accident.
Did you tell them who was driving in that car accident?
I told him I was.
You told her that she'd fallen out of the chair?
Yes.
Is that what you were talking about with what Brad told you, or was that something else?
No, that's with what Brad told me.
So you told her about something that you never saw happen and you didn't have any information about happening.
Yes.
Said you left there and went to his dad's house.
Yes.
Where did you go next?
After his dad's house, we stopped in a parking lot, Madison Inn.
For what?
He said that he lost his cell phone.
Did Brad
Yeah,
Where?
he had it at my grandma's.
Did you go from your grandma's to his dad's? How could his cell phone have been lost at the Madison Inn?
I don't know. I did not think about it at the time.
You didn't ask any questions?
No.
Where'd you go then?
Back to the house.
And what happened then?
We went inside and we went to the bedroom to watch TV with Kinsley.
What did you do then?
She wasn't tired, so Brad went out to the living room with her, and I followed.
How long were you there?
About an hour, hour and a half.
And then what?
I couldn't stay up any longer, so I told him I was going to go to bed.
Was there a time that night back at the house where you would have been alone with Kinsley?
No.
You could
Yes,
speak
you
up.
got it.
If you could speak up.
No.
You said you went back to bed
Yes.
and he was on the couch with her.
Yes.
What's the next thing you remember happening?
Next thing I remember happening is the door coming open and the light coming on and saying, "Did you hear her wake up?" She woke up screaming.
Did you hear that?
No.
What happened then?
I told him to lay her down on the bed beside me, and he laid her down.
You want to go back? So the time you got back from, I guess, the Madison Inn to Chuck's house, all the way up till this point, did you see the defendant do any discipline of Kinsley?
Yes.
What did you see?
I seen him hit her in the back of the head
When and why and how?
when he was taking her shoes off, and because she kept leaning back and it was the same part of his hand,
And how many times did you see him do that?
about 2 to 3 times,
And what did her body do when that happened?
jerked forward,
What did her head do?
jerked forward as well.
Next thing you know, from the time that you went to bed and he's in the living room with her, comes in and lays her down beside you.
Yes.
What did you see?
I seen that her eyes were open and her breathing was off.
Talk about
She would take a breath and then she would stop. Then she would take another breath and she would stop.
what did you do then?
I tried patting her hands and her feet and her face, trying to get her to wake up. And when she wouldn't, I called 911.
What happened then?
They said to start CPR. And Brad took her in the kitchen and laid her on the table and then moved her from the table to the floor and started CPR on her.
What did you do?
I went and woke Chuck up.
Did you then stay in the house or did you go somewhere else?
I went outside,
Why?
wait on the paramedics or the police.
Did they get there?
Yes,
And what did you do when they got there?
talking to the cops.
Did you ever go back inside?
Yes,
When?
right after they had put her in the ambulance.
Do you know what time it was when she woke up? Or did this happen?
No,
Do you remember being on your phone that night, in the middle of the night?
no,
Do you remember doing any internet searching?
no. Yeah, I do. Actually, I searched up kids waking up with night terrors.
And do you know what time that would have been?
No.
Would looking at your phone records help to refresh your recollection of that?
Yes.
Does that help you to remember doing that?
Yeah.
And do you see what time that is marked as occurring?
2:50 a.m.
All right.
Sorry, Judge.
Could you state that again and louder?
2:50 a.m.
What caused you to do that?
Because she kept waking up screaming, and I wanted to know why.
So had she woken up before that evening?
Yeah, but this time was different.
Okay. Well, when you talked about before, you talked about going to bed because she wouldn't go to sleep, and you left Brad and her on the couch. Is that right?
Yes.
When, in relation to that, are you looking this up about sleep problems?
I was out on the front porch when I looked it up.
Okay. Was that before or after Brad had taken Kinsley out to the couch?
It was after.
Had she gone to sleep and woken up that night?
Yes.
And what was she doing when she woke up?
She woke up screaming, but this time her eyes were closed.
And I want to make sure that we're clear. I want to talk specifically about this time that led you to look up the stuff on the internet. Describe specifically what it was like then.
She woke up and her eyes were closed and she was screaming. And you could see the tears running down the side of her face. And Brad picked her up and we tried waking her up. And she woke up, but it took her a minute to wake up, and that's why I looked it up.
What happened then?
That's when we went out to the living room.
Did the defendant do any discipline up to then?
No.
Went out to the living room. What happened when he went out to the living room?
He laid down on the couch with Kinsley, and I sat at the end of the couch.
Does it 70 show that couch?
Not 70, but 61 does.
If you want to turn around and look at it, where were you? You said you were on an end of the couch?
Yes,
Did you face it? Were you on the right side or the left side?
the left side.
And how were Brad and Kinsley?
Brad's feet were down toward the other end of the couch, and his head was right beside me, and Kinsley was laying on her stomach, on his stomach.
Right. You didn't stay there all night.
No.
What did you do?
I told him that I was going to go to bed, so I went to the bedroom.
You told who?
Brad.
Did he say anything to you?
No, the only thing he said to me was leave the remote in case she wakes up.
So at that point, was Kinsley asleep?
Yes.
Do you know what time it was that you got up?
No.
Do you remember looking up anything else that morning on the internet?
No.
Do you remember checking a bank account?
No.
The next thing, is that the time that the next thing that you remember is somebody coming into the room, is him coming into the room?
Yes.
Right. Talk to the police there?
Yes.
What did you tell the police?
I told the police that she woke up crying and that all three of us were asleep on the couch.
Was that on scene or was that at the police department?
That was on scene.
Do you remember ever telling officers that you were in the bedroom
No.
Why would you tell them you were on the couch if you were in the bedroom, as you said today?
Objection?
Sustained.
When you talk to officers, where did you talk to officers?
Outside,
Outside where?
on the back porch.
Did you talk to officers then anywhere else?
Yes,
Where?
down at the police department.
Did you talk to Brad about what to say to the police?
Yes,
Objection? Lenient?
yes,
Yes.
I did.
Okay. Where did you talk to Brad about that?
In a text message,
And how was that?
he texted me and told me if they asked that all three of us fell asleep on the couch, because if I didn't, then they would think one of us done something to her.
If I may approach the witness with State Exhibits 101, 102, 103, and 104.
May approve.
Do you recognize those exhibits?
Yeah,
And what are they?
there are text messages between me and Brad
And when would those text messages have occurred?
the morning that this happened.
True and accurate copies of those conversations?
Yeah,
You could look at that. Where it says there on the bottom, they're going to try and make us look like bad parents, babe. Not sure how they got 3 different stories either. Chuck never said anything from this is stupid. Who is saying that?
Brad.
Big Exhibit 102. I love you, stay strong, and we'll be with her soon. Who is saying that?
Brad.
I know, babe, I love you too. Who is saying that?
Me.
Just telling them she was laying with both of us in the living room and the couch so they don't try and turn it around on you or me. Who is saying that?
Brad.
Big Exhibit 103. Okay, babe, Grandma said they have her on life support. Who is saying that?
I did.
I want to know what's going on with her. It's killing me, babe. This is such BS. Who is saying that?
Brad.
I know, babe, I do too. Hopefully we can get in and out real fast. Who is saying that?
Me.
Yeah, this is just BS. I want to be with my baby girl. Who is saying that?
Brad.
I do too. I just want to hold her and kiss her and tell her I love her and it's going to be all right. Who is saying that?
Me.
I know, babe. Who is saying that?
Brad.
This is such BS. Have to go to Hamilton. Why couldn't we do this at the hospital? Who is saying that?
Brad.
You okay, babe? Who is saying that?
Brad.
Have you heard anything else, babe? Are you doing okay wherever you are?
Brad.
You talked about this last time when you brought her into the room being different from the time before when she had woken up crying. Is that right?
Yeah.
Tell me that first time, that night, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, from Tuesday, December 1st into Wednesday, December 2nd. What was different about the first time that she woke up?
That's when she woke up crying and her eyes were closed.
She was crying.
Yeah.
Once you woke her up, how did she feel?
She seemed okay.
And what did you do? What did she do?
We went out to the living room.
Did she have any food or drink, or did anybody else do anything else with her?
I think I tried to give her some snacks.
Okay. Do you think you did? Do you remember if you did?
I don't remember if I did.
Was she carried out there, or did she walk out there?
She was carried out there.
And how did she seem?
She seemed okay.
And describe what you mean by seem okay.
She was smiling. She was tired. She kept yawning, but she had a smile on her face. She was talking.
And when you say she was talking, what was she doing?
She said, "Come on, Mommy," because they were going out to the living room.
When you talked to the officers, did they ask you about everything that happened
Yes,
over the past 5 days?
yes,
Did you tell them about the car accident?
yes.
What did you tell them about that?
Told them that I was driving.
And that was a lie?
Yes,
Why, when your daughter is in such bad shape, are you still telling that lie?
to protect him,
Who's him?
Brad.
Did you tell officers that you saw Kinsley hit her head on the faucet with your own eyes?
Yes,
Did that happen?
no,
Why did you tell them that when your daughter is in such terrible condition?
still to protect him
Protect him from what?
from getting in trouble.
Why did you tell them that you were on a couch together?
Because
Why did you tell them that you were on a couch together?
that's what Brad told me to say.
That was a lie, right?
Yes,
Your daughter was in terrible condition. Why did you do that?
because I didn't believe that she was in terrible condition. I thought I was being lied to, so I was still trying to protect him.
You met with detectives for hours on Wednesday, December 2nd, correct?
Yes,
And your daughter was in the hospital then?
yes.
How long before you told them about seeing the defendant shake your daughter?
I don't know.
Did you tell them that right away?
No,
Did they have to get beaten with you?
yes.
How long before you told them about seeing him hit your daughter in the back of the head?
After they started getting mean with me.
Why did it take so long when your daughter was in such terrible condition? Why did it take so long for you to say something?
Because I was scared. I didn't think that she was in the condition that she was in.
Do you recognize those exhibits?
Yes,
What are those?
text messages between me and Brad.
And when were those?
Sunday on the 15th of 2015, November.
So on Sunday, November 15th, conversation where you at, babe? Who was saying that?
Me,
Me, a sis, just got done eating ice cream. Who's that?
Brad,
And who's sis?
Kinsley.
So were you not there?
No,
Where were you?
I can't remember.
Crunch wrap meat and cheese only, extra cheese and a soft taco meat and cheese only, that it babe, love you. Who's
Brad,
saying that?
Brad.
And what's that about?
I went to Taco Bell to get something to eat for us.
I'm home, babe, be careful, I love you, I told you as soon as we pulled away and she couldn't see you, that Band-Aid got ripped off. Who's saying that?
I did.
And what is that about?
She had impetigo. She had it real bad on her top lip, and when it would scab over, she would pick it off. So Brad kept putting a Band-Aid on there so it would heal, and she didn't like the Band-Aid being on her lip, so she'd rip it off.
This exhibit 100. Smack her hand harder or smack her cheek. She has to not take your joking face. Who said that?
Brad.
I pulled down her pants and busted her bare ass, and she spit in my face, so she's down for a nap for a while. Who said that?
I did.
Did you do that?
No,
Why would you say that you did that?
because he wanted me to continue the same way of discipline that he did to her.
Wow, I had smacked her mouth, cut and all, so she really felt it. Who said that?
Brad.
She got in trouble, that's for sure. Mama wants to know if you will be home for Thanksgiving. Who said that?
I did.
Do you remember coming to grand jury to testify?
Yes.
Do you remember having a conversation with me?
Yes.
Objection, court complete.
Sustained.
Do you recall if any statements were made to you about your testimony or anything that you may receive on behalf of or because of your testimony?
Yes.
What?
I was not promised anything. Nothing was going to be given to me in exchange for my testimony.
State's Exhibit 150 and 151, if you can take a look at those. State's Exhibit 150, what is that?
It is my guilty plea and jury waiver.
And what does it say? I'm sorry. Your guilty plea and jury waiver. What does that mean?
It means that I was entering a plea of guilty.
And on the second page, does that state whether or not you were offered anything or any sort of a promise for your testimony?
Yes.
What does it state?
Absolutely no promises or inducements have been made to me to enter this plea to the indictment as charged. I understand that I will receive no consideration or benefit from the state for having entered this plea or for any testimony I have previously provided or may later provide related to the death of Kinsley Kinner.
Did you understand that when you entered that?
Yes.
And I believe it's State's Exhibit 151 is the other exhibit. What is that?
These are my charges.
Do you remember what sentence you received?
11 years.
Do you know whether or not that was the maximum you could receive?
Yes.
And was it?
Yes.